Okay, so we're going to be working on my Strike framework. Um, I've done some progress. I added streaming and reworked islands and did a bunch of different stuff. Um, okay, my screen sharing died again, which is not great. And not that easy to fix it. I think I did. Oh, someone subscribed. I think it was on YouTube, I guess. I think the YouTube one doesn't have um, uh, text to speech. Hmm. Okay, my stream got messed up for some reason. Okay, let me fix my. Let me fix my stuff. Uh, what happened? I have two streams for some reason. Okay, so let's delete this one, I guess. Not even sure how I can delete it. This. Okay. Connection poor. Okay, that's not good. Okay, so let's make this chat. I have this chat, and I need to get this chat. Okay, should be good to go. Um, okay, we also might add some music, or maybe I will be talking about stuff. Not sure yet. Okay, I'm also trying to find a way how I can like make some talk or like presentation or whatnot about it, and I don't know yet. um, okay, there's a lot of stuff that I need to clean up, and um, so this is how it looks right now. So I made it so it hydrates much faster now. So this search field, it's kind of like grayed out until it's hydrated, and you almost like don't see it when it's grayed out. Um, Unfortunately, the way that I wrote streaming right now, it will always show like the fallback, and until you hydrate, there is no easy way to show something. Yeah, so it's always having this like loading indicator, and I haven't looked into how I can fix it. I mean, there's a way to fix it. You just turn off streaming. And yeah, it's kind of like so this selected state, it's only there when it's hydrated. So when I refresh, this is grayed out and this is not selected at first. So it actually like works better without streaming, but I think I can do something like this. So I can say that nav is component if uh, uh, Golang module like okay, it's not it. Constant. Yeah, and sure, that's what I need. So if I have use streaming, so if I use streaming, then this. Not this. Okay. So what are we complaining about? Okay, this one. Yeah, so you have this. This is without streaming. And if I do this is with streaming. Yeah, so one other thing is that when I navigate, my state is lost. And I could store it somewhere. That's how like Next.js does it. When you navigate between pages, that uh, you have to like restart it, I guess, all the time. Okay, that's not it. Huh. Yeah. I think my TMP folder got restarted. Yeah, so I wouldn't be able to use it. Oops. Um. Okay. So what are we doing here? Okay, so I'm using streaming. It looks like that. If I don't use streaming, looks like that. Okay, so I think I will be working on like server actions today. Uh, there is still this question of like, can I clean stuff up? And I don't know. So this is how it looks right now. Uh, if I add those delays back in, it will stream for longer. Yeah, but interestingly, you will see like here there's a loading. That's because it's waiting for those promises. But the page is like already interactive and stuff, even though we're waiting for stuff to be resolved. So I think that's cool. Uh, option to disable streaming. Okay, so right, so this is the thing that makes stuff slower. So if I have hi, so if I have nothing selected, it's like pretty fast, except for that like fake streaming stuff. But the longer the string, the more delay is. So if I open this page now, because we don't have streaming, uh, the whole page is like in this weird state. But if I turn on streaming, you see that it's actually like working. Yeah. So I could probably like use streaming or not use streaming depending on like how long the string is. And um, so the other thing that I need to clean up is that context stuff. So I figured how they use context in Go, and so you get context, then you can like put stuff in context. Uh, I was trying to do this with. Um, I was going to create like a separate uh, path for streaming and non-streaming, and it's basically like render to string or um, render to string or render to stream. And I didn't like how much kind of like code duplication I had, and I know how to not have that duplication. Um, so this is like one of the ideas that I had was this stream stuff. So I was going to put some data in stream, and I'm not going to. So this is going to be. I mean, so this is how it works right now. Uh, I create this task channel, which is like, yeah, good name, I know. Um, and that's my way to communicate stuff that uh, that's how I do the streaming stuff. So if I curl, you see that like those messages are delivered at like different times. So this is the first message, this is second, third, and fourth. So the first one I wait for like the longest, and the way that I wait for it is I just have this task channel. And so one thing that could happen is that so I'm waiting for this, right? And it doesn't show when it's got resolved. So let me figure out. This is probably this one. I had this. Now I call this. Okay, and it's not this one. Yeah, and I have two of them, which is really inconvenient. I need to I need to dry it out a bit. Okay, still doesn't work. Oh, okay. It's not compiling for some reason. Task resolved, task resolved, task resolved. Okay, so what happens if I start this thing and um, I kill the connection? It still resolves all the tasks, right? So what I could be doing is that in the context, it will actually show me. Uh, it will actually show me when the connection is done. So I can go func this, and I can wait for this thing and context done. Okay. So now if I open it, yeah. So you see that. Oops. Where is it? You see that the context done happened before task resolved. So there is no point trying to uh, trying to send that response if the connection has already died. Um, and I don't know how I should be writing that. So what I could do is I can just, when it's done, I can just close task channel. Yeah, then the problem is that it will try to send stuff in closed channel. And how do I know? I don't know what has crashed. Okay, I'm closing closed channel. Okay, not the problem. I was thinking of, of sending stuff to task channel. So here, task channel. Here's where I'm sending stuff. So I'm waiting for promises to resolve, and if they, it's possible to imagine that could be even closed before. So can I check if it's closed? Check if channel is closed. Oh wow, everything is like oh, I can okay on it. Wow, so many like negative answers. Yeah, there's also a problem with like closing the closed channel. Okay, so I can't fix the. Yeah, this is interesting. So here's the problem. I'm waiting for context to be done. So I can probably here, if I have context, right? I can check if it was closed because I have the context. And if it's closed, okay, go read channel on uh, blocking. So again, if you don't want blocking, okay, right, so select, right, so I think I was looking for this one. Why it's so complicated? Okay, so I want to figure out is closed, and then I select stuff from done channel. If it's closed, then this. If it's not, then not. And if I do it right before sending stuff, I can say if not is closed, then do this. Okay, so context done. Okay, so we don't have that issue of trying to send to the closed channel anymore, but we still have issue of trying to close the closed channel. Okay. Yeah, the syntax is not the best, of course. Okay, so I don't have to close the channel then. Maybe that's the answer. Okay, and right. So how is this going to work? Okay, so it's done. Yes, because it does that work group stuff. It waited for work group and then it closed the channel. And then if it's closed, we're going out of this one. Yeah. Okay, so this is fine, I think. Okay. So yeah, it's it is possible that it is possible that this promise could be started. Yeah, so if I curl it and cancel it right away, yeah, I can't I can't close it fast enough. Um, but it is possible technically. Interesting that it's struct. Why is it a struct? String generates values with do something and send them out. Okay, so do something, then if it's closed, Interesting. So I can select. A case. Okay. I'm not sure that's that's how it works. Okay. I think it did what I wanted. Yeah, I think this is better. Okay. Right. Okay. So technically need to check if it's guess just returned. Okay, if I did this, it return. And then I can just say exit if early text is done. Yep. I think I'm doing it the other way around. Yeah. uh, okay. Um, yeah, because it's doing like this work because this is like a blocking operation, and if this thing would have returned a channel, I could have listened for it instead. But it's just a function at the moment. Okay, and so that's fine. So the other thing is that I tried to play with suspense. Yes, so the streaming part is that you can make streaming faster if you replace HTML before you hydrate. This is hard hard thing to play with, so I didn't do that yet. Okay, so we know that context can be done. We know that task stuff works, seems like. Yeah, so we're only doing kind of like less work here. We're still waiting for task channel to be closed. That's one thing that we're doing wrong. So if I can, yeah, if I'm gonna go to promise, and if I can, yeah, if I turn this into a channel though, okay, so I can go and put it into a func. And when it's resolved, I can send it here. So this way, it's asynchronous. I mean, I'm already in this thing, so okay. Yeah, so it needs not to send to this channel. It needs to send to some channel. And then in select, I'm waiting for messages from done, or I'm waiting for messages from channel. And then maybe I can do something like this. So let's remove this exit early. Now let's create channel and cannot use channel. Right, I need to receive this first, and then I can send it. Don't need default case anymore. Yeah, I'm just waiting for done or message from channel. Okay, feels like it should work, but you never know. Down, context down. Okay, so it's probably possible now. Probably possible now to close task channel. what's going on? Yeah, close of closed channel. Okay. So we're closing it twice. So why are we closing it twice? So we shouldn't be closing it here. Okay. So, right. So now we can. Okay. Does wait have some kind of other API? Until counter is 0. Okay, so I'm waiting for done. So I'm uh, waiting for done, but I could also be waiting for work group to be done. Is there such API? No, done. Wait. Semaphores, compare and swap. Why is it so hard? Okay, so it's looping in some kind of thing. This is number wire. Okay. Okay. Uh, I guess I can do go. I can wait for this and send message to channel. And uh, I can wait for that message. And if context is closed or if wait group has ended, I can close channel. Okay, crashed right away. Negative. Oh yeah, I'm doing done somewhere. Yeah, it's not done. It's wait. Yep. Okay. Okay. So it was able to finish properly. And if I close it right now, okay, it's not crazy, but we already have this like distributed system that does like all this stuff, which is not great. Okay, so what does wait return? So if I do something like this, no value. How can I send no value? I wonder. Okay, so if I do something like boom. Yeah, this is definitely like no fun allowed language. uh, yep. Okay. Uh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, so it seemed to work. We just need to rehash it somewhat. So, what is happening here is that we create all of this stuff. So we need context. That's good. We need task channel, and that's stuff that converts it to like stream. Yeah, don't wait towards this promise results right now. Right, so it's not the task channel, it's more like chunk stream. And we have work group. So we only use work group to get, so it's, yeah, so this could be a channel that, yeah, I mean, let me put it here. That's the question. So we already have context, and we already have this stuff. Okay, okay, my stuff. haven't renamed it yet. I also don't know if I need to do that like panic recover stuff. Okay. Okay, so this is an option. The work group could be internal stuff. Okay, so we can rename this as work group done. Context done or work group done, then we can close the channel. If the work group is done, we close task channel. Okay, so if the work group is done, that means that, yeah, if there are no more coroutines that can send to the channel, that's when it's, yeah. Okay, so now the question about like exit early if the context is done. So we are not doing that yet. Yeah, so that's the stuff that we need to do here. So if we got done, we do return. Otherwise, we continue. Can I write continue? No. Um, so then we create a channel, and here we can send data to, yeah, task channel is going to be closed if context is done. Yeah, I think that's the thing. Yeah, Go is pretty boilerplate. There's like lines are growing. Okay, how are we doing on time? This is not my regular Code Connect format though. I need to figure out. I should have like a better name. Okay. So here's the question. I have task channel in my stuff. Okay. So I'm not doing it here anymore. Need to remove this, right? Because it doesn't compile it now. Okay, compiles. Okay, takes surprisingly long time. Wonder if I broke it though. Okay, it works here. It's just the cheese stuff is. Okay, do I have some kind of race condition when it doesn't work all the time? Right, so I refresh it, and then I stop. Oh, I can't stop. Yeah, I need to get rid of this marks and stuff. Okay, so what's happening here? Context done. Right, so why is context done? Okay, it's possible that I'm starting to wait. Yeah, I'm doing this thing too late. Um, well, yeah, this is inconvenient. Uh, yeah, this happens too early. Yeah, it's probably possible. Yeah, okay. Right, so I have this context, and um, I need to have it before I start the app. And okay, I need to. So interesting. So like I don't need to call rendering yet. But I need to call it before I can use task channel. Okay, so I wonder if this task channel should be actually get task channel. So then it's not task channel. It's maybe it's a channel that returns task channel. Okay, and right, so it's either a function that returns a task channel, or it's a okay. So let's imagine that it's a channel. Then how do I know if someone started listening to it? Probably don't. I mean, if I send something, this will block. Okay, this is too complicated. Okay, so I have so I have a function that returns task channel, and so this is a function that returns task channel. But also okay, so I don't need any of this stuff. And when this function is called, that's when I start listening for weight group stuff. And if I do it this way, and do it like that, seems too easy, but stuff like that happened before. Interesting. It's context down, then it's down, then work group. Okay. Okay, so let's try it again. Okay. What are we doing? What is this change? We're talking about closing task channel. close task channel if context is done. Okay. Yeah, so if nothing was streaming, we call this function. Uh, we can technically check if we have anything in the work group. So work group. Interesting. Doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't give that API. So we'll have to check. So we're creating task channel. No, we have to create it before. That's for promises. And then we're running this thing and we're checking. Yeah, I guess we could like bail earlier if it's already done. That's probably not that expensive to do it this way. Okay, so now let's make names better. Um, okay, so we have promise. Promise needs to have context so that we can do what? Yeah, so we can know when it's finished. Uh, okay. Yeah, it's also all of this is inside of resolve async. We will have other stuff. Promise ready. Yeah. Okay. So the first thing is this. The context needs to have key, and it's going to be. Yeah, I need to name this thing properly, and I need to start with task channel, I guess. So what is task channel? That's that's stuff where we send chunks. So um, so right now we only send promise resolve over it, and it's possible that I will have other stuff other than promises, but I don't know what. And yeah, so right now when we have task channel here, yeah, so we convert it as promise results. Yeah, basically there are like two things. So one is just like sending asynchronous chunks, and the other is like promises specifically. And it's going to be hard to find a way to split them apart. So we'll continue to call it promise. Right. So who is responsible for like all of that stuff? Let's try promise result, strike promise and strike component. The Marshall JSON function can return this. Right. Okay. I can try to create a new thing that is called promise result. Okay. Yeah. So let's say that this is a promise result. You can imagine that it's generic as well, but I don't know if we're going to do that. Yeah, it wasn't really fun to work with generics. Okay, so this is a promise ID. So this is not even sure what this is. So this is a promise result or results? Channel. This is a weight group. The weight groups are worker groups. Yes, am I? Oh, your local Minecraft fan. Okay, hello, Minecraft fan. We're not exactly doing Minecraft here. What I was going to say that like I decided to do Go because that's one of the simplest one, but just looking at like an amount of code that I wrote, it looks less and less simple. Um, you don't know how to change your username? I actually know how to do that. It's not that complicated. Uh, Let me figure out. So go to Twitch dashboard. Go to. Okay, let me just do it outside of the screen so that I don't leak anything important. But yeah, so go to your Twitch settings profile and you have your uh, username, and you can update it like once every 3 months or something like that. So you just click a button and you just write a new thing and it will work. I changed my username a couple of times. Yeah, so it's not that it's not that complicated. The complicated part is to find a good name. Um, okay. Yeah, so Go community is not that fun. It's like no upvotes on the question. Everyone's like downvoting everyone. Yeah. Eesh. Um, okay, so what I was talking about. Yeah. So I wish I knew Go a bit better. Maybe I can make it kind of like nicer looking, but okay. So what is this thing? So uh, this is a thing that allows us to wait for um, the results, and we only use it internally. I guess we use it here from context. So it's some kind of promise context. So the context is request. So it's it's a promise context for request. Request context promise context. Yeah, but then if you want it separated, it doesn't allow you to change it. Yeah, so you can change it like um, if your account is new, you can't change it for like a few months. But yeah, then you can change it. Okay, so this thing, imagine what we if imagine that this is just a chunk uh, context. So this is a way for us to send. So the context is related to chunk q. Okay, so it's possible that this is a chunk q. Uh, your what? OC? What is OC? Okay, so then it's not my stuff. It's chunk q. Original character. Okay, I think I'm like completely lost what you're talking about. What is the original character? Okay, so this is right. So we can imagine that this is not just for promises. It's I guess it depends where we serialize it. If you can serialize, yeah, if it's just interface that I can marshal. Yeah, so if it's just data of mob string any, is that VTuber thing or like what's happening? I'm so confused uh, in terms of the chat. Uh, okay, so it could be cool if we can put this in a two JSON. It's for Dungeons and Dragons. Okay. Yeah. I played one campaign and I kind of like don't remember anything about it. But I know that people like to talk about their characters on D&D. Okay. So let's just imagine that this is so promise result. Let's imagine that promise result has Marshall string. So P promise result. It can Marshall into strike promise result, ID result, all that stuff. Okay. So now so now let's imagine that we have this. I don't know if it's just like typing for so long or or just Ghost of a Missing Child. But the Amber Alert. Amber Alert puts it into modern times. So is that modern times D&D? Okay, so we have this. So now let's imagine that I just put imagine that I put task here, which is like not a task, but okay, so it compiles and it was able to do it. So it's can be any. Yeah, okay, I think it works. Now, okay, so this is promise results. Okay, so it knows that it's a promise result. So if I go here and if I say that this channel is any, and this channel is any, and this channel is any. This channel is any. Right, so it can't do this anymore. It has to be task. Okay, so it was able to pick it up. I think we're doing something right. So now, okay, so this made it a bit cleaner. Uh, right. So it's just encode this. Yeah, and a chunk, I guess like it doesn't have to have a type as long as we can turn it into JSON. Yeah, the tricky part is that like streaming stuff where you wanna return a script tag, not just JSON. But we'll get there when we'll get there. Okay, I have like 20 minutes. Right. So it's not a right. So this part is not specific to promise. So it's just chunk channel. Or is it chunks channel? Let's chat GPT this. In Golang, would you call a channel promise to or promises? Single value channel, single promise. Slice of promises. Interesting. Okay. Right. So it sends chunks over time, but it sends just one chunk at one time. So that's interesting. Okay, so chunks channel, and so this task channel is chunk. Okay, so I'm not sure how the. Okay, so let's say that it's chunk channel and worker group. Technically, this doesn't have to be public type either. Okay. So we have chunks, we have work group, we have chunk queue. We get chunk channel. We close chunk channel. Right, so I also wanted to do this, and this is going to be chunk key integer. Then I just do chunk key. Okay, the type. Okay, new plan. Don't know how to write it. Okay, so outbound session key. Okay, it's a constant. Which is not the worst idea, I guess. Yeah, so we have session key. Type. Okay. Uh, okay. Okay, context, date. Those are just strings. What's the key? Imported, I guess. That's funny. Uh, okay. What was the name? So struct. It's pointer to struct that has a string. Okay. I don't know why you need to do all of this complex stuff. Seems too complex. Okay, so it looks like people do context E, then they do something like this. Chunky. Guess maybe it's chunks. What am I storing? Chunk Q. Chunk Q E. Okay. Um, okay, so chunk Q, that's what context does. And okay, so we can have context. This is Q now. And new promise creates a new promise. It has already channel and a context. Then I can call resolve. And okay, so why do I need mark sent? Why do I need then? Yeah, this is also not used. Guess it could be used. Okay. So still compiles, which is good. This is promise stuff. promise result stuff. Right, and we're not using then stuff. So do create this channel and I can close it when it's resolved. Okay, so do I have stuff somewhere? Yes, I do. So this is going to be Q now. Right, and so what is happening here is that I how much of that is promise and how much of that is Q? So a lot of it is Q, but I need to be able to resolve the promise. Okay, so how do I write this function into two functions? Okay. Looks like I streamed for like 1.5 hours and haven't achieved too much. Okay, so I need promise to get the context. So given the context, okay, so let's say stuff. Okay, we got rid of stuff. So we still have task. Chunk channel is going to be closed if the context is done. Okay, and this is not. This is a chunk. Okay, so now let's go to app. And let's say that we have stuff. We don't. But we have task. Okay, so this is. So this is get chunk channel. And this is chunk. And this is chunk here. So do we have task error encoding chunk? Okay. So it still compiles, still chunks. Let's call it this. This is still a to do. Okay, so task chunk. Okay, so let's try to split them up then. So we already have a sync though. Right, so a sync is just promise stuff. Maybe it doesn't even have to be sync. Okay. Um, but on the other hand, how much do I really need to split it up yet? Not really. Okay. Um, so let's get rid of stream then. That's the thing that I don't like. And so what do we do with stuff that so if I call render to string instead of render to stream, so what is going to happen? Okay. Did it work? Yeah, there's no difference, right? Right. So the stream part is the other stuff. Is like this. Have we added it to context or not? Okay, so context, flash page with context, and skip this, new stream. Okay, so I don't want there to be stream. So I remove all of this stuff. I okay, what do I do? So first I want to copy this. Okay, I need to commit that stuff first. So I'm started working on this. Right, so idea is mark suspense components in HTML with comments. Then I need to self-closing tag. Right. So for self-closing tags, I think I need to do children. So I need to skip children. I need to return here. Don't know if I still have any self-closing tags. Link. Right. Doesn't look too self-closing to me. Right, it doesn't compile now. Okay, so it compiles. Okay, so now link is self-closing. What are the self-closing tags, by the way? Meta, I think meta. Yeah, so say meta. Okay, is it still like working? Yep. Okay. So meta name and so on. Okay. So let's say that this is the implementation. Okay, so I removed stream as well. Well, I didn't want it. Work in progress, self, closing text. Okay. Now I removed stream stuff, which is just this and this. So now the question, what do we have in render to string that we don't have in render to stream? So we don't mark suspense, we don't something warnings. You can only pass a component as a prop to island. Interesting. Yeah, I think that's a good one. Self-closing, different function. Okay, I think that's the only thing that we need. Now we can remove render to string. Well, if I remove it will. Okay, so I remove it. Like all of my tests are not working anymore. Oh, interesting. Okay. What do I do here? The hell of this. And just going to say that it compiles, it still works. It just tests are not working anymore. Remove render to string. Okay, I think that's it. I'm just out of time. So, okay. What have we learned here? Not much. I just cleaned my stuff up. Okay.